It's 12:01. I'd like to invite everyone to stand for the pledge of the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I always have my flag there.
All right, welcome everybody. All right, let me pull my agenda up here. Okay, I'd like to have a motion to approve the minutes of March 3rd. Do we have a motion to approve?
So move, Commissioner Givens.
My second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the minutes?
Jean needs to unmute. She needs to unmute her.
Thank you. Didn't know.
Perfect. Any discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Financial report and payment of the bills. Do we have a motion to approve the financial report?
Also move.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Jean, a second by Charlie. Any discussion on the financial report? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, it is right at almost 12:05, but we're going to go ahead and start the public hearing on the Comcast franchise agreement renewal. I'd like to start the public hearing, and I'd like to ask Joe Zerillo to update us on where we're at with this.
Okay, several months ago, we were contacted by Comcast to initiate the renewal process for the franchise agreement, cable franchise agreement. These agreements are governed by federal law under the Communication Act, commonly known as the Cable Act, and it requires that the public to give public notice and public the opportunity to comment. Essentially, what this franchise agreement agrees to is you're giving permission to the franchisee, which would be Comcast, to utilize our public right-of-ways for the equipment to provide cable to the community. And for that, the town will receive a franchise fee of 5% of their annual gross revenue. I believe last year we received somewhere in the area of $220,000 as a result of that, which is a substantial earnings for us. So I see that we have a representative on who I was in negotiation with. Matt Schiffermiller's on the call. Matt, do you have anything to add? I think that about covers it. The substantial nature of the agreement is pretty much the same.
Before he speaks, can I throw in something real quick before, because Matt's our representative for Comcast, and I was just flagged down coming through town by a citizen about Comcast, about their rates being adjusted so high, or not so high, but they keep getting adjustments, and everyone's talking about, can the town of Elkton bring in another provider, because every time they turn around, their rates are going higher and higher, and they can't understand it, but yet they still have the same issues with their connections. I'm just bringing forth what was told to me as of just 2 days ago. I was going to bring this up, and I forgot it was on the agenda for the day. So, Matt, can you either touch base with that? Maybe the citizens are looking for some kind of decrease on their costs, or else they're talking about trying to eliminate Comcast altogether. So I just want to bring that to the table. I don't know where that goes from there.
More than happy to work individually with customers that contact the town and have concerns about anything, including their the cost of service. Generally there's the rates just sort of are the rates, but if there's individual concerns from customers, I'm more than happy to work with them to try to find a solution that works for them.
Well, my wife has called the company several times because we had Comcast basically just for the internet service. We hardly ever sit and watch TV that much, but I mean, we're paying over $200 some a month. That's kind of high just for internet services. So people are actually tied in just for the internet part. So
And just so you know, Earl, these agreements are non-exclusive agreements. So if another company wants to come in and enter into a franchise agreement, they have the right to do that. It just would be a competitive. We do have a competitive equity clause where basically an agreement with Comcast and any other provider that wish to come in to town would have to have the same terms and conditions.
That's so true, Joe. And I can understand that sitting on the board all these years to see change, but right now you really don't have anybody to challenge Comcast. But certainly Earl brings up a good point. I mean, the rates are high. And if you look at the way society is going, you have so many things to challenge them, like the TV box and all these others that you can watch TVs and movies for and what have you. That's left on the individual who's doing that. But certainly the prices are high. And going back to what Matt said, I know there's many people who have called Comcast on an individual basis, and they certainly have worked with them to reduce rates for certain items that they have. So 6 on one hand, half a dozen on the other. Thanks.
I would just add that, those are, again, like Matt said, that an individual can call and contact Comcast. Maybe they have a hardship or something like that. Something could be worked out. But I know that over the years, Comcast has been meeting the community's needs and has been a integral part of the community in providing that service.
I would mention, Joe, we do have a program to provide low-cost internet service to communities of need. That is called Internet Essentials. That's the program. More than happy to at another time to come and talk to the council about the program. At this point, it would take up some time to go into detail about what else covered in that program. But we do have programs out there to help individuals on the lower income side of things.
Well, how do you make that availability known?
We work with towns, we work with school systems, we work with nonprofits that are also engaged with those communities to get that information out to as broad a group as we can. We are really interested if there's any partnerships available to try to get that information out to the impacted individuals. We're looking to do that everywhere we can.
All right, thank you, sir.
I have one quick question, Joe. Was there any more discussion on that program that we discussed before?
Yeah, I know I put Mary in contact with Comcast, and she was looking into I believe it's called the lift zones. I'm not sure. Maybe Mary could comment if there's been any movement on that or not.
He's on.
Joe, could you get a direct number so that the customers can call them, not just go to Comcast and call just any rep? Is there a certain number that they can call directly so they can address what Matt is saying for an individual?
If Matt can maybe forward me an email with the information to the program he's talking about, I'll make sure it gets to the right people.
I'm talking about instead of calling 800 number or whatever, I want a number direct so I can give to this customer, especially they're really concerned with contacting somebody to talk to them about their rates. So I want a number, not just any representative to talk to them.
I'll be happy to look into that.
Okay, thank you.
Mary, did you have a comment on the LIFT program?
I mean, I have talked to Joe about it. There's other requirements, not just simply getting the internet here. There has to be like the supervision of the kids and other stuff. So there's more to it than just getting a internet agreement. So it's not something that I can just throw together real quick, but I'm definitely looking into it.
Very good. Does anyone from anyone else on the call have any questions or concerns? This is a public hearing with the renewal of our agreement with Comcast.
I had one quick question, Mayor. Pat from Elk Landing.
Yes.
Does Comcast offer anybody or any type of a program for nonprofits to help cut down on the internet bill we receive?
Matt, can you answer that? Or Joe, do you have any information on that at all?
I do not. Maybe Matt can elaborate on that.
I would say there's no general program to do that, but again, if an organization wants to reach out directly to me, or maybe through Joe to me, so everyone's aware of what's going on, I can have somebody contact them directly and see if there's opportunities to lower what they're paying.
If I can interject, I have contact information. I'll pass it on.
Okay, thanks,
Perfect.
Michelle.
And I also have a contact person who can talk to people about their bills as well.
All
So
right,
I'll pass that on to you. Oh, actually, I'll share it with the board.
Thank you. Anyone else have anything to add? You know, Comcast has been a great partner with the town of Elkton for many years, and what we're talking about today is just renewing the agreement for the franchise agreement. So it's great. It's great that we brought up all these other things, and I think it's very, very important. So I want to say that and close this public hearing. It is now, let me look at the time. It is 12:12. This public hearing is closed. Do we have a motion to renew the franchise agreement with Comcast?
Also move.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Jean and a second by Commissioner Charlie Gibbons. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, it's 12:10. Lou, you're on with Resolution R1 2021. Our second public hearing of the day is going to get started at 12:13.
This public hearing relates to the charter amendment, which is predicated by recent litigation between the town of Elkton and Tortilla Works over personal property that was taxed by the town, and evidently their confusion about it, and to the point that it came to litigation in the circuit court. So based on council's recommendation and some wording that I put in, we're making some changes to that section on taxable property within the charter. And I'll read the original language. The original language under C8-14 taxable property reads, all real property and all tangible personal property, which may have situs here, there by reason of the residence of the owner therein, is subject to taxation for municipal purposes. And the assessment used shall be the same as that for the state and county taxes. No authority is given by this section to impose taxes on any property which is exempt from taxation by act of the General Assembly. That's the General Assembly of Maryland. Well, the new language under that same section that we're proposing today is that reads as follows. All real property and tangible business personal property that is located within the corporate limits of the town of Elkton is subject to taxation for municipal purposes, and the assessment used shall be the same as for the state and county taxes. No authority is given by this section to impose taxes prohibited by any act of the General Assembly. However, the town of Elkton shall impose taxes on any real and business personal property permitted by an act of any act of the General Assembly, and does not grant a municipal exemption from taxation unless expressly stated herein. The counsel for this, David Bestie, recommended that we made these changes in order to avoid personal property taxation litigation in the future. So I recommend that the board accept the proposed language for the change to the town's charter.
Lou, is this for introduction?
Now, under the this resolution, if it's passed today, is advertised for 4 consecutive weeks, and at the end of a 50-day period, it becomes effective. So it's not the same as an ordinance. It's a charter change by resolution.
Very good. I think I'm very clear on it. I read the information. I read the information that Dave Bestie had sent to us. Do we have a motion to approve resolution R1-2021 as read?
So
Commissioner
moved.
Mass.
Commissioner Givens with the motion, Commissioner Massimiano with the second. Any discussion on this at all? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries. Thanks, Lou. This public hearing is closed. It's at 12:16. Oh, you know, I messed up here.
Yeah, we, basically, if there's any member of the public that want to comment on this charter change, then they have a right to do so at this point.
That's correct. I'm gonna kind of ask everyone to rescind what we just did. Rob, can you rescind your second? Charlie, can you rescind your motion?
It's done.
Anyone from the public have any comments? It's a public hearing on resolution R1-2020. Any comments on this charter change?
I have two callers and I'm asking them to unmute themselves and they're not. I don't have any other callers.
Okay, I see them up here. Okay. This public hearing is now closed. It's 12:17. Do we have a motion to accept resolution R1-2021?
Commissioner Givens, so move.
Commissioner Givens, Commissioner Massimiano with a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. I'm trying to work off of two computers and I'm getting myself confused a little bit, so.
Now, what'll happen now, we'll advertise these for 4 consecutive weeks. And at the end of a 50-day period, that becomes effective in our charter.
Fantastic. Okay, the next item up is the discussion on the July 4th, 2021 fireworks. Michelle, are you in charge of that?
I don't see John here on the line. At the end of the day, I can just give you a quick synopsis. And I know the board had talked about previously issues with the fireworks. And I've also talked with the board about the problem at where they've been shot historically. The trees are growing in and that's shortening your distance between the fireworks and your spectators.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, your spectators can no longer sit on the bank in front of Meadow Park as they used to because of that shortened distance. But when the distance becomes shorter, then your shell size becomes shorter or smaller. The smaller the shell, the lower the fireworks, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we had talked initially about having them shot in the middle of Meadow Park. There's a lot of very good reasons to have it in the middle of Meadow Park. And then Mayor mentioned he'd like to see a couple of samples. If that's the case and you want to do that, it can be done, but that's going to be about $3,000. And it's going to involve getting an additional permit from the fire marshal's office, et cetera, to get that done. The other option is to have fireworks extravaganza give you an idea using a drone. We can place people all in different places around town and you can see if you can see that drone from these different vantage points or again, shoot off a couple of test shots. So that's pretty much in a nutshell what we had talked about and what John was going to talk to you about today.
I think it would be fine if we could send a drone up and we strategically put some folks around town and we see if we can see that drone. I'm sure they'll put some type of streamer on it so that you could see it a little bit clearer. But let's do that because I think if we could fire a little higher and have more optimum places to see it, there's no need to be at Meadow Park this year.
Okay.
You guys feel that way? How's the rest of the board feel?
Concur.
Would you say there's no need to be where?
No need to be in the park. If we're setting off the fireworks from the center of Meadow Park so that the we could have larger fireworks, then we wouldn't be able to allow anyone in the park itself, but you could be sitting at Eder Park on Howard Street, Water Street, or whatever you want to call it. You could be probably at the Big Elk Mall. You could be throughout the town, but you wouldn't be on Delaware Avenue, let's say. Yeah, you could be at the pond.
Yeah. Because you'd see there'd be a big aerial display that would be visible from a lot of different locations rather than being right in the middle of the park.
I know there's a lot of locations where you do get a good view of it. By
Yes.
the old Elkton Diner. And 2 years ago, I had people in the parking lot out back at Edwards Fashions, and that was a nice view.
I think if we can get that data,
Okay.
I think it'd be great.
Okay,
Mhm.
I'll keep you
I think
posted.
everyone's on board.
That's it. Okay.
All right, the next item, discussion with the Elton Alliance. I see Jessica Price is on board here. Jess, can you tell us what you're thinking in regard to downtown events?
Sure. So we have actually scheduled similar to the events that we had done in 2019 in hopes that we are able to continue to do them this year. I'd rather have them on the books, have the permissions and everything we need, and then if we have to cancel, we can cancel. But our list here is, I tried to give the list of everything that we would need for the year, so hopefully I won't have to come back before you. But we have the list of all the road closures, and then I have the list of the alcohol waivers. So if you look at that list, we start with Dog's Day of Summer, and it goes all the way to December. So these are all events that we have had the alcohol waivers for in the past. None of these are new. And then at the bottom, there is an additional dinner theater under the stars. We wanted to seek permission for the municipal parking lot to try to spread things out. But we actually just had a meeting the other day, and we think we'll be able to hold it at Elk River. We're going to nix the dinner part of it, and it will just be more of a theater show. So we wouldn't need the big tables. Then that way we wouldn't need to be spread out. We could spread chairs out easier than we could tables. So I don't need that request any longer for the municipal parking lot, but I would want to request the town's use of the stage. And in the past, we've gotten a liability waiver to cover that in case there was any damage or anything done to it. But that would be the only request I would need for that. But all these other events, the SantaCon, the Turkey Trot, those are events to help our downtown merchants. And then the other ones are events that we would hold.
Very good. Lou, I'm going to put it on to you as I see it's on the town administrator's report. Do we want to go through these line by line, or do we want to collectively accept them?
Can I ask a question before we move forward?
Yeah, go ahead, Jean.
Remember the alumni, Elkton alumni that was always supposed to be in October?
Yeah, usually that would be on my list, and I did not put it there, and I would want to, so I would probably have to come before again another time to request it, because I don't know legally if we're allowed to add it. That would be a Lewis Michelle question. But typically we have asked an alcohol waiver for that night as well, and that's the first.
Because didn't we say we were going to designate the first
Yes,
Friday
and
in October?
yes, but I forgot to put it down for the alcohol waiver. I'm sorry about that.
Can we add it today?
We can add it.
There.
We'll add
Okay.
it.
What's the date?
First Friday in October. So
Yeah, up here, October 1st.
Oh, okay, we'll just add it.
Elton
Is
Alumni
that
Day.
okay, Jess?
And that's fine by me, because that's another one that helps our downtown merchants, like the SantaCon, the Turkey Trot. Those are all just to make it easier for them. If they get overcrowded, someone can go outside and walk down the street. It just makes it a lot easier, especially during COVID.
All righty, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Mayor, I'll just read the dates
Perfect.
quickly. Okay, June 18th, June 21st, July 9th, August 13th, September 17th, September 18th, October 1st, November 24th, and December 18th for waivers for alcohol for Elkton Alliance activities.
Very good.
You mentioned June 21st, but was that June 24th? Because it's written down on the paper.
I'm sorry, did I say November 24th?
No, you said June 21st.
Okay, June 24th is one.
Okay. well,
The downtown car show.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Do we have a motion to accept those dates for alcohol waivers?
So moved.
Also move.
We have a motion by Commissioner Givens, second by Commissioner Rumel. Any discussion on alcohol waivers for those dates? Hearing none, all in favor?
I did have a question, but it didn't
Yes.
have to do with the dates. Jessica, since the car show was one of the staples, how come you only having one?
We're trying to not over bombard ourselves this year, and also we've been having issues getting volunteers to help with the barricades. That's become a huge issue. To try to alleviate that, we're having a car show in June, and then we will have a car show with the Fall Fest as well. So it's not spelled out, but it is with the Fall Fest. So we will have two this year.
Thanks.
Okay.
I've got two before we move on. My 35th anniversary that I mentioned, I'm doing that, I believe, first Saturday in June. And I was asking if I could close off that short section of North Street for that, so that we can set up some cornhole and art tables for kids.
Yes, we did the paperwork, sent it off to State Highway. I have not been notified yet, but sometimes they do notify Lieutenant Waldridge instead of me. So I'll double check with him to see if we've gotten the okay on that. But I did send the paperwork off last month.
All right, thanks, Jess.
You're welcome.
Any other discussion?
I might have to put my Jeep in that car show.
Perfect. I like it.
There you go.
All in favor of the alcohol waivers?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Lou, do we need to do anything with the road closure motion at this point, or?
No, I think the board agrees to the closures as long as the state highway permits it. So
That's correct.
Larry Waldridge to coordinate that with Jessica and everything. I think we're fine.
And coordinate that June 1st date in there.
Yes.
Perfect.
You mean October 1st?
The June 1st for the 35th anniversary of
I got
Tidewater Tattoo.
June 1st. I got you.
June 5th, I think the date is Saturday, June 5th.
June 5th?
Yeah.
All right.
For
June 5th.
Rob?
Yeah, June 5th.
For
Got it.
Rob.
Yes,
What's that?
Tidewater Tattoo.
Tidewater. Okay, the 5th. Thank you. I'm marking my calendar for all.
All right, very good.
right.
Any other discussion on downtown events other than, I believe that the, what's the date of the Little League Parade?
That on the 16th.
It is April 16th, and I spoke to Tim Eller the other day, and he wanted to make sure that the town board would all be in attendance, hopefully on Friday night, June 16th. I also had some information that on April the 14th was going to be the ribbon cutting for the Dunkin' Donuts in the Big Elk Mall, but I haven't received anything official on that. But I did get a phone call from an individual representing them. So as soon as I get additional information, I'll make everyone aware of that also.
Also, with the society opening up a little bit, have you come up with a date for the ribbon cutting or celebration for the recreational center?
I think that's something we should put together. Mary, if you're still on here, let's get that thing. We'd love to have that ribbon cutting soon.
Okay.
Put that together
I
for
won't be here April 16th, so that'd be the first baseball parade I've missed in a long while.
Or you want somebody, Earl, you want somebody to cry, but they won't.
Let's have the ribbon cutting that day.
I could give us a
Earl's not there.
jog in place for me.
Rob,
Yes.
about April 16th in the Little League Parade, what time do you want to wear?
Rob, I haven't received any details on that at all. They were going to send it over to us. Maybe Jess has them.
Yeah, Tim, the parade itself begins at 6:30. So typically I think they have people start meeting around 6 down there to get everything situated, but the parade itself will start at 6:30.
Perfect.
Out back at Eder Park?
Yeah.
Out back at Eder Park.
All right,
And I
I
think-
may have to adjust my schedule, but I'll take care of that.
I think they're doing a ceremony to honor the Williams family this year as well.
That is correct. Okay, nothing new on my report. Any information from any of the commissioners? Commissioner Givens?
I don't have any specific information. I think I would like to thank Chief Allen for her participation with the public. I had a young lady who had a problem on yesterday, and the chief was actually around and she was able to meet with her. And as I always said, that's good when the public can connect with the chief, even though they can do an effective job on anybody in the ranks. She also helped with the shooting over there to Douglas Street and on Sunday, and she's setting up some plans to ward that off because they had problems last year. And certainly I want to thank her for that, and also had an opportunity to speak with Lewis's assistant, who's going to meet with Murray and others to provide safety precautions for them at the center over there. So that's it.
Very good. Thank you, Charlie. Commissioner Broomall, anything today?
Hi, Rob, I just wanted to remind you to mention your fishing event because I want to get that on the calendar too. But yeah, Mary, if you could keep us notified on that lift zone, I'm very interested to find out the particulars and what it would involve as far as, you know, what you need to make it happen. And the only other thing, you know, are we going to have a workshop on the funds that we're going to receive anytime in the near future? Or do we have to wait until we find out 100% what we're allowed to use it for?
I think we're still working on that each and every day. I
Okay.
think it changes each and every day, but I don't think that we would receive anything. We're still probably 45 to 50 days out before the state.
All
will
right.
receive it.
You can't tell a woman that she's got money to spend and not.
I hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just getting anxious. All right, now I have nothing else to report.
I'm
Thank
glad
you.
I didn't make a statement.
Commissioner Piner, anything today?
I just have a comment or a concern. I think Walnut Hill, is that the one off of 213 going towards Prairie Hill?
Yes.
Um,
No.
Hills off
Oh,
213.
what's the shoot, I'm trying to think of development going right up off of 213 going towards Prairie Hill.
That's
Um,
Walnut Hill.
Okay.
Well, Chief, I had a couple concerns there. I rode through there just today and yesterday, and there's a vehicle that's like on 4 wheels on jacks and it's very unsafe for if a kid or something was to go by there. But I rode through there, the neighborhood, and there was a basketball. I know that's DPW, but there was a basketball rim right out in the road, right by the fire hydrant on that main road. But it wasn't on the sidewalk or anything. It was right in the road. You had to swerve right around it. But there's just a couple of concerns that I noticed out there that was unsafe. So if you don't just have somebody go through there, please.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Earl. Commissioner Maspiano.
I've just got 2 things in my notes here. One was, and I've already mentioned this, Chief Allen, but you know, I've spoken with several of our officers over the past few weeks, and they just can't say enough about her. They're so happy with the choice that we've made in our new chief. So, passing that. And Gene asked me to mention the fishing rodeo. Yeah, that's coming along nicely. It's getting much bigger than I thought it would, and I'm sure this will be a yearly event for us. It's May 22nd, and very soon, I would say this week, I'm going to start putting out some flyers and advertisers. I'm going to have kids register for this event because now Chick-fil-A's on board. They're going to give us sandwiches, and Utz Potato Chips are donating chips and pretzels and things. The FOP is helping out. Parks and Rec is going to help out. I just haven't talked to Mary yet. So yeah, it's really coming along nice, and I anticipate a great day for us.
Perfect. Anything else, sir?
No, that's it for me.
Okay, there was one last thing I wanted to bring to the board's attention. We had some vacancies on the Elkton Housing Authority Board. We did receive a resume which was sent to everybody for a young lady, our Rossello campus. I looked over her resume. It seems to be pretty sharp from having a person with business experience, insurance experience, and I think these are the type of nominees that we need to put onto the board because there's going to be a lot of individual questions and a lot of individual help that they're going to need. So I'd like to appoint Ms. Campus for a 5-year term, starting immediately and ending on January 1, 2026. We would still have a couple voids. I think we still have one additional person we need to appoint. Do we have a motion to accept Ms. Campus?
Also moved.
We have a motion by Commissioner Brunel
Second.
and a second by Commissioner Piner. Any discussion on this nominee for the Elkton Housing Authority? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. We're still one down, so if anyone has a person in mind for the Elkton Housing Authority, please have them get that resume in. Okay, this is the time of the meeting. We open up the floor for anyone from the public that has anything to say for the good of Elkton. Anyone have anything good, positive?
Can I advertise something?
Go ahead, Pat.
It's we're having a 5K virtual race to raise funds for Elk Landing. And the name of the race is British Invasion, Race to Fort Hollingsworth. And the beauty of this race is you don't really have to run because nobody will know if you don't. It's for a very low price of $35. And you also get a really neat looking t-shirt. And if you go in on our webpage, www.elklanding.org, you can sign up right there. It's simple, it's easy, and it's for a good cause.
Nice. Thank you so much for that.
Pat, do you have any, or anything?
Pardon
Printed
me,
up?
Rob?
Do you have any flyers printed up for that?
I've had flyers made up. I handed some out a few weeks ago downtown. I was going to go to First Friday last week, but it was too cold for me to go out last Friday night. I don't do cold weather. But advertising it has been a hurdle simply because of COVID, because you just can't go out and walk around and sit next to somebody and hand them flyers or anything. So we're trying, that's why I'm doing it here right now. If you could just pass the word around town.
Well, maybe if you email me one, I'll print out some copies and stick them out on my counter for you.
Oh, I can get copies and bring them downtown for you with no problem.
Sure.
I can do that. Hey, no problem. It will be taken care of. Thanks a lot, Rob.
And Pat, we have the kiosk outside too, that you're more than welcome to attach those to that and put them inside as well.
I put one down there and it blew away because it was really, I didn't have enough pins with me. But I can bring some down to the Alliance also.
Yeah, wonderful.
And
Very good. Anyone else have anything? Yep.
on a side note, I want to thank Earl and his brother for coming down to Elk Landing last week. And I did see the little clip of what your brother did, and it is fantastic. I loved it.
Thank you. I'll make sure
Very
you
good.
And then, Mayor, if I may, I just wanted to give the board an update. We have begun the traffic study, the safety study downtown. We've hired traffic planning and design, and they are on that to look into the outdoor dining and the best way to make that safest for the town. So that has already started. And the Alliance will be attending MML. We made the decision the other day, so we will have a table there. And I believe we're going to unveil our new logo there. As we move to that 501c3, we have a new logo to unveil. So MML will be the first event that we go to that will kind of do a sneak peek of that new logo. And then also we have been in contact with Enzo's. They are going to be opening soon, and we'll be helping them with the ribbon cutting. So as soon as I'll send that out to the board. And we have a upcoming 1-year anniversary of Pastries by Penny. She was not able to have a ribbon cutting because of COVID. So we're hoping to be able to do something like some sort of cutting with her 1-year anniversary.
Fantastic. Thank you, Jess.
Thank you.
Anyone else have anything for the good of the town? Hearing none, it is 12:41. This meeting is adjourned.